Good afternoon and welcome. This evening, we're privileged to have April Reuter lead the invocation. April, if you could please come to the podium while I introduce you. This year, April was honored for 30 years of service with the Norwalk Unified School District. Let's give her a round of applause for that. 30 years. I was actually there to see that, so congratulations.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
One of her greatest joys is reconnecting with her former students who are graduating from high school. She often sends her class pictures to the district's high schools. She often sends her class pictures to the district's high schools and invites them back to her classroom to share memories. This year, she has proudly reconnected with 9 of her former students and celebrated their future plans. In her free time, April loves to travel. She is especially excited about her upcoming trip to Egypt this summer. Thank you for coming today, April, and joining us and leading us in this invocation as we begin our regularly scheduled council meeting today on May 28th, 2024. Whenever you're ready.
Awesome. My pleasure. All right. Let's pray. God, we just thank you for tonight. We just invite you into this space, Lord. And tonight we claim the verse Jeremiah 29:7, which says, "Pray for the peace and prosperity of your city, and as it prospers, we will prosper." And so I just pray that over everyone in here tonight, Lord, over our leaders. God, we just pray a special blessing over our city council, over our mayor, Margarita Rios, God, our city manager, our deputy city manager, Lord, everyone here that's a part of the connected community of Norwalk, Lord. We pray wisdom, we pray just vision, unity on the essentials. And God, ultimately, we pray that every area of our city would be blessed and would flourish and thrive because that's on your heart. So we commit this meeting to you tonight, and we just pray your blessing over every part. Give us all strength and energy for the rest of the week, Lord. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay. April actually teaches at the elementary school that I attended, Edmondson Elementary School here in Norwalk. Okay, next, I would like to ask Young Marine Sergeant Estrada to proceed to the podium, please, as I introduce you. Young Marine Sergeant Estrada attends Whittier High School and is in the 9th grade. Young Marine Sergeant Estrada has been part of the Young Marines program in Norwalk for 5 years. During this time, he has volunteered at major city events such as the Halloween Park event, the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, and the Veterans Day celebration. He enjoys working at the booths and handing out flags or programs. Young Marine Sergeant Estrada's favorite part of Norwalk is the wide range of sports activities available at the Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex. He also values the community activities organized by the city. He chose to join the Young Marines program because of the fun and enjoyable activities that are being offered. In his spare time, he enjoys playing football, working out, and hiking. Thank you, Young Marine Sergeant Estrada, for joining us today at our council meeting and leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Whenever you're ready.
Please put your right hands over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to present you with a certificate and a medal, so if you can just hold on for a few minutes longer.
Got it.
And if my colleagues would join me, presentation, certificate presentation, for Young Marine Sergeant Estrada. And basically it reads, on behalf of the city of Norwalk, thank you for reciting the Pledge of Allegiance during our May 28, 2024 City Council meeting. Your leadership and courage make our community a better place. We know how disciplined and dedicated it is to present yourself in uniform, creased, ready, looking sharp, shoes shined, hair cut. So thank you for representing well. Okay, and with that, we will move on to our roll call. Teresa, please.
Good evening. Council members Perez,
Here.
Valencia,
Here.
and Mayor Rios.
Here. Okay, we're gonna move on now to our city council comments, and I will begin this evening with Council Member Valencia.
Thank you. All right. Friday, May 10th, I attended the Teen Alliance Program Awards at the Sports Complex along with several of us. And it was such a great program to see our Teen Alliance volunteers get awards, get scholarships, and it's wonderful, and their families as well. Everybody was so proud of them as well as us, and it was just a really nice time. I had to leave before it ended, but I just congratulated everybody, and just it's great that we have such a wonderful program. And Saturday, May 11th, I attended the Padres Unidos gathering at the Social Service Center. That was a great time, and they had a live band and a lot of dancing as well. So that was a lot of fun. On From Thursday, May 16th through the 19th, I, as well as some of my colleagues, attended the Contract Cities Conference. Jennifer, is it called California Contract Cities Conference? It's the three C's. And I want to say congratulations to our very own council member, Jennifer Perez, on being elected president of that organization. Yes. I also want to give a huge thank you to our Norwalk Parks and Rec director and staff who did outstanding work at this conference as well, representing Norwalk. You made us very proud, and everybody there was talking about how professional, helpful, and just great our Norwalk people are. And we said, yeah, we know, but thank you. Um, and I want to also say that along with, and along with that, our own city manager, Jesus Gomez, because Jennifer is now president, is now the head of the contract cities city manager meetings and committee. I don't know what it's called. What is it called, Jesus? He leads all the California city managers for contract cities. Let's give him an applause. We have great people doing great work and at the top of these organizations. And I just think it's wonderful that we're putting Norwalk yet on the map again, because as Jennifer reminds us, this is the sixth time that we've had somebody from Norwalk lead, and I think it's just wonderful. I also want to say that it was amazing to see our own Teen Alliance program staff give their a workshop or a talk. Basically, Rosie was there, Rosie Lazoya, James. Oh my God, I forget James's last name, huh? Pedrosa, and she's yes, and and Patty, of course, they were wonderful. Not we we never take for granted what we have, but let me tell you, a lot of other cities wish that they could have programs like ours, and they really asked a lot of questions. A lot of the folks in different cities asked a lot of questions on how it was that we were able to start, what the program entails, and just some specific questions too. Very, very grounded questions, and it was just great to see how how our folks were there representing us and just really expressing what they truly feel about the program and what they do, and what they do is amazing. So let's give them a round of applause, please. So we all learned a lot. It was so tiring that when I guess Tony and his wife, Tony Ayala, were there, Councilmember Ayala and his wife were there. I was exhausted after the workshops and everything because, you really, I pay attention to everything, I take notes. And by the end, I was just like, okay, I'm going to just go back and just like rest a little bit. And apparently I just walked right by them, didn't even say hello, didn't even nod or anything. And so later on, they reminded me, you walked right by us. Oh my God, I was exhausted. I was just like, okay, get me to my room, to my bed. That was it. But it's great work. It's a lot of really good information, but you get overwhelmed at times a little. Um, I also wanted to say that I attended on Thursday, May 23rd, the Lady program here at our social service center. Oh my God, Gabby, that was a great session. Thank you for inviting us and every sometimes we can go, sometimes we can't. But I carved a little bit of time for that one and it was wonderful. We practiced some yoga, mindfulness, and we had some really good food from Norwalk's, what is it called? Taco Factory, I think it's called, right here in Patterson. The new restaurant owned by Bruce Soto. Really good food, you guys. So we endorse it. I endorse it. Um, and just the lady program, I was able to give just a little bit of money to help with everything that you do. My God, so much. And of course, yesterday, Monday, May 27th, the Norwalk City Memorial Day event, it was the best ever yet. It was amazing, wonderful, and thank you to all our staff. Um, Sonia, my God, that was a lot of work. That was a lot of work. Juan, thank you because I know that you guys just tirelessly work on making sure that everything is just goes without a hitch. And Levy, where are you? You're right there. Yes, you and your staff as well. My God, thank you. Everything went so well. And of course, our Madam Mayor did a great job too. She added a couple of things in there that were like, oh, a little more personal touches. So it was very special. And I think that's all I have for now. Oh, all that also. And I want to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Councilmember Perez?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I do hope that you had some time over the weekend to reflect. I heard so many positive comments about the ceremony yesterday. I apologize, I was not there in person. I had a minor procedure that kept me under the weather over the weekend and away from all of you. So I am very blessed to say that I was thinking of all of you and am blessings to all of our veterans and their families. Thank you, Councilwoman Valencia. The past 2 weeks have been slightly overwhelming. As Anna had mentioned, I was installed as the California Contract Cities Association president a couple weeks ago. It seems like it was a long time ago. A lot has happened. But truly representing over 80 cities that do contracting with various companies for our cities and our municipalities to represent them, but to really represent Norwalk. And as Anna had mentioned, I am the sixth president from the city of Norwalk that will be representing not only Norwalk, but our entire association. And for that, I am truly grateful in their commitment to me to be able to do this. Some of the conference went off without a hitch. I am truly grateful for all of the advanced planning that went into it. Sonia and the team, you were all amazing. Thank you for all of that. We assisted in planning 4 of the educational sessions that we held at the conference. The first one was tackling mental health awareness, partnering with our Care Court Association, and how that actually works in partnership with our cities. We had a session on AI, protecting yourself, protecting your cities, and really connecting that digital divide, bringing it all together. We had a panel update on SB 1383 and how organics are being processed now, and how, as of January 1st, fines do go into effect. And a lot of our cities did not know that. And I am very grateful to say that the city of Norwalk, thank you, Gabby, from the very beginning of 1383, really put forth the effort to educate our residents on this. And because of that, we are in a much better place than a lot of our surrounding cities. And as you heard from Councilwoman Valencia, the 4th panel was our Teen Alliance program. We know here in the city of Norwalk that we have a gem in that program, and it started in the early 90s. And the way that it has expanded to what it is today, we really wanted to share that program, that structure, with all of the 80 cities, 80 plus cities that were there. We tugged on some heartstrings. We shared our commitment to our teens and our youth in the city. And with the overwhelming success of the program and that panel, we got commitment for an annual scholarship from former Mayor Marcel Rodarte for our Teen Alliance program, and we got a donation from Supervisor Hahn. So it's from sharing the programs that we do here in the city that truly reach other people and will turn around and benefit our teens in the program. Immediately after that conference on Sunday, a few of us, myself and the mayor, flew to Vegas for the International Shopping Center convention, where we probably walked, if you looked at my phone, 15,000 steps a day. Don't ask me how we did it. Don't ask me how I'm still standing. But we had 10 to 15 meetings a day with, prospects, with store owners, retailers, hoteliers, shopping center owners, and developers. We talked, we met, we shared insight and goals for our city. And I am grateful to say that once again, this is the fifth time I've attended this conference, and we're at the point where you're going to see pen to paper, and things are actually, those relationships that have been built will be coming to fruition. So I'm very excited about that. I think that's it. Everything has kind of blended. So I hope I didn't forget anything. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. If you looked at our agenda, it's a big one. So roll up your sleeves and hang in there with us. And thank you again for being here with us. That's all. Thank you.
We are at City Council comments. Vice Mayor Ayala, would you like to? Hey, I'm giving you a chance, buddy.
One of the things I wanted to mention is I had the good fortune of going to Santa Fe High School's concert for the music department, and they're amazing. They were so good; it was really amazing. And then they had a second show on a second night where it was the music departments from Cal High, Whittier, and at Santa Fe. And then on that last night, what they did is they put all three bands on the stage at the same time, and they played medley of songs and stuff. It was really, really awesome. Congratulations to the scholarship recipients from the Serapis Club of Santa Fe Springs, Norwalk. That happened last Sunday. Some very worthy recipients there, with all kinds of really diverse things that they were interested in. Everything from somebody wanting to, open up a bakery to somebody else wanting to do something in service industry, and so that was always that's always very motivating and inspirational. Last, I want to thank everybody that came out to support the Little Lake Education Foundation golf tournament. That was last Friday. It was a little chillier than I would have liked, and of course the sun came out the next day, right? Because that's always the way it works. But no, that was very successful. We raised a significant amount of money, and that money goes, how they distribute it is we put together a pot of money, then the teachers do proposals that the foundation considers, and then we dole out all the money to certain teachers and programs they have, and it's everything from field trips to buying, science equipment, or just everything you can imagine. Of course, the more creative the teacher is, the more likely they are to get funded. But there's no overhead. It doesn't cost any money to keep the foundation going. So literally every dollar we raise goes right back into the scholarships. But that's all I can think of right now. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. And I'd like to share a couple of things. First of all, welcome everyone to our meeting this evening. Thank you for joining us. And I wanted to remind you all that on June Second is our 5K walk run. I hope you all are ready. Yes? So, whether you're walking, running, volunteering, okay, there is a chance for everyone in our community to participate in our inaugural 5K walk run. So I hope that you help spread the word. Come and see, watch a friend or family member run. Just come and hang out. Maybe there's going to be different activities if you don't want to walk or run and participate in the race. But there's going to be different, food trucks. There'll be activities for adults, activities for kids. They're also going to have a bike. Yeah, they're going to have live music. There's also going to be an area for the kiddos, for bicycling, a little bike rodeo. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope that you take a moment out of your weekend to come in and join us on bright and early on June 2nd. Information is still on the website if you're looking to get a little bit more information on that event. It's going to be a good one. On June 1st, I do want to share there is a Parade Norwalk scheduled at the Doubletree Hotel at 10 a.m. And I know April Reuter and her team lead this. Again, it is about praying for our community, praying for one another, um, sending blessings over our city so that we continue to prosper and thrive and be healthy and be well. So if you have some time on Saturday, please join April and her team and help her gather together to pray for the beautiful city of Norwalk and all of its people. On that same day, I was invited to be a keynote speaker for the CSULB Gear Up, which I'm super excited because that's my alma mater as well. Go Long Beach, go Beach. And the Gear Up program helps students through their current educational process, but ultimately with the goal of ensuring they not only finish their K through 12, but have a plan after high school. And so the plan to go to college or find a fulfilling career. So this Saturday, they're going to be celebrating their rising ninth graders who completed a 3-part college and career exploration portfolio. So they're going to be joined by their families and friends to celebrate their hard work and the partnership that we have with CSULB Gear Up to ensure that our youth are receiving all the support that they need so that they can be successful, so that they can go to college, have a nice career. So I'm looking forward to being the keynote speaker there on Saturday. So I may stop by April if I make it. I'm not sure, but it's the same time as Pray Norwalk. But thank you for that. And let's see. This last Saturday, I attended the Mujeres Extraordinarias event held at Cerritos College. I want to thank them for the invitations, their public relations personnel. Thank you. It was so the theme was Mente Sana, Vida Plena, which basically translates to healthy mind, abundant life. So their theme revolved around health and wellness, mental health, emotional, physical, physiological, psychological. It specifically was for women, because sometimes as women, there's that stigma that we don't reach out, especially women in the Latino community. We don't always reach out, or we don't know what resources are available to us. So they had a really nice panel. There were speakers and authors there from other countries that shared how they've, navigated through their challenges in life and have come through with shining colors, and how they wanted to help other women do that as well. So that was a nice event, and Dr. Fiera was really, really nice to host them there at Cerritos College. That was nice. The Memorial Day event I got a lot of positive feedback. It was truly beautiful. It really, really was. Staff made, uh, it was just, the setup was, I'd never seen it like that before. Everybody was in awe. I was in awe. Thank you, staff, for putting that up. I know you had to take it all down again, make some moves, and I just, kudos to you all involved in that planning and execution of the Memorial Day event. The program was approximately an hour and 45 minutes, and it didn't feel that way. It went by so fast. And we had a nice crowd, and again, received a lot of positive feedback. So, thank you again to all of you for making that a success. And again, one for the books, because in the city of Norwalk, we do it right. So thank you. Uh, yes, I'll be. Yeah. On Monday, I will be conducting or hosting a city tour here at City Hall, and it is for a group of elementary students. So, if you're an educator who would like to have a field trip and come to City Hall, hear a little bit about city governance, maybe meet the mayor, some staff. If you find that helpful or beneficial for your young students, please contact the city and we'd be happy to set something up for you. And let's see, what did we have, Anna? Oh, okay, yes. Chamber of Commerce is having their international fair. It is on Front Street. It is scheduled on Saturday, June 1st, 2 to 7 p.m. Did I get that right? All right. So, as you have just heard, there's a lot of exciting things going on in the city of Norwalk. And I know my colleagues already shared, Councilmember Perez, now with her role as president of Contract Cities, and the seminar, and then after that, ICSC. We met with a lot of developers, brokers, potential tenants for the city of Norwalk. That conference, ICSC, was specific to really drawing from that potential out there in the market and bring it back to Norwalk, whether it be housing, whether it be commercial, all of that. So positive, so much potential, and we've done so much the last few years, and I'm just excited about everything that's coming to the city of Norwalk, because as all of you have, as well as myself, have families, generational, or maybe you have young family, children. I know my sons are going to make a life here in the city of Norwalk, so I want the best for them, just like I want the best for all of you, and I'm sure you feel the same way. The future of Norwalk is bright, and all of you will be able to participate in it. So, really exciting stuff. Thank you. We are now at our special presentations. And today, we're going to recognize Norwalk High School student artists for designing and painting utility boxes in the city of Norwalk. It's an honor to recognize Norwalk High School students for painting and designing 2 utility boxes, which contributes to beautifying our city. These young artists have brought a splash of color and a sense of pride to their artwork. The themes of the boxes are nature and diversity, which is located on Rosecrans and Harvest. Wait a minute, they may be, Rosecrans. Okay, I guess the 2. Okay, the themes of the boxes are nature and diversity. They may be found on Rosecrans and Harvest and Fallon and Rosecrans. These projects not only allowed students to express their creativity, it also taught them the value of teamwork, communication, and community involvement. The City of Norwalk is committed to supporting young artists and fostering a sense of community through creative endeavors. So just for clarification, there was 2 boxes, nature and diversity on Rosecrans and Harvest. What was the other box, Teresa? Oh, okay. Nature. Oh, it's two separate. Gotcha. Okay, nature is one, diversity is the second. Oh, okay. Wonderful. We have some pictures to share? Oh, awesome. Oh, I saw that one. Oh, I love it. I love it. Beautiful. Let's give these young artists a round of applause, please. This art truly contributes to our community, so we're really grateful for our young artists. And as we present some certificates, or before we do that, I'd also like to acknowledge the art teacher, Mr. Luis Vega. Where are you, Mr. Luis? Oh, there he is. Also from Norwalk High, he helped assist by coordinating the students and assisted on painting days. I'd like you and your group to come forward. We will present the group with some certificates, and our city manager, Jesus Gomez, will help us by reading the names of the students. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council, and the community. Welcome. We will present to you our artist for our city, and that will begin with Jocelyn Armienta. Desiree Ann Barrera, Claudia Cerrato, Lincoln Franco, Gabriela Hughes, Alexander Ibarra, Elliot Mendez, Arwen Peguero, Madison Ramirez, Camila Rauda, and of course, Mr. Luis Vega, the teacher, art teacher.
Now, if you are a parent or family member or teacher or someone here supporting these students, please stand up so we can see you. I know we had a couple people taking pictures. Thank you. That's right. That's right. You all are doing a good job. Thank you. Thank you for supporting their work as artists. Thank you for supporting their work in our community. If you really think about it, those utility boxes are going to be there for quite a while displaying their artwork. It's a big deal. So thank you, students, artists, and your family and all your supporters. And of course, the proud principal, Dr. Olea. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Okay, next we have another exciting presentation for you all. We are proclaiming National Public Works Week, May 19th through the 25th. Oh, look at that. Okay, let me. Did you all paint any utility boxes? No. Okay. The city is proud to proclaim National Public Works Week because of the health and comfort of the community and how it is greatly dependent on these services. Accepting this proclamation as our public safety department, we would like to thank them for tirelessly maintaining and improving the city's infrastructure and essential services. Do we have anything here that we're going to show? Or is it just, I see a, okay. Huh? Oh, that's later? Oh, okay. So, how about you all come forward to accept this proclamation for National Public Works Week? Come on, team. All right. All right. I love it. I hear a lot of excitement. I love it. I love it. Okay, I just want to share a few words in the proclamation here. Whereas the City of Norwalk Public Services Department provides a wide range of services in our community, which are integral to the quality of life in our city. They oversee and maintain infrastructure, facilities, and provide services that are vital for maintaining a sustainable and resilient community. I love that. Public services duty range from overseeing facilities and park maintenance, graffiti removal, median improvements, sidewalk and street repairs, sewer maintenance, water services, traffic and signal operations, trees and green space maintenance, street and operations, and structures and facilities essential for our citizens. I can breathe. My goodness, that's a lot. That's a lot every day. Thank you. Amen. Every day. The efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff Norwalk's Public Services Department are significantly influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Yes, indeed. So today, on my behalf, Margarita Rios, Mayor of the City of Norwalk, on behalf of the Vice Mayor, Tony Ayala, and my fellow council members, Jennifer Perez, Rick Ramirez, and Ana Valencia, do hereby proclaim May 19th through the 25th, 2024 as Public Works Week.
And Mayor and members of City Council, I just want to publicly thank all the staff in public services. They work under sometimes extreme conditions, heat, rain, traffic, and just want to publicly thank them for all they do for the city. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, we'll move on to our city manager comments. Mr. Gomez?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council. I just want to briefly recap contract cities. I want to thank Councilwoman Jennifer Perez for being installed as the president for this next year. We look forward to a great year. There are many things that we have ahead of us, mainly legislation that we need to be keenly aware of and be able to protect the city's local control for the cities in for the cities in the cities in the state of California. And so we will be actively pursuing that as we have these past few years. We had a great conference, very enlightening in terms of the speakers, and wanted to also thank our Parks and Recreation and our Public Affairs team that truly made the conference very easy to navigate for those who attended, which was over 100 registrants than you normally get at conferences. So a well-attended conference, well-prepared staff made us very proud to have them organize and work the conference. So thank you for that, Parks and Recreation and Public Affairs team. Also, we went to ICSC, great meetings that we had, and I just want to thank the City Council for being active in economic development. You are the leaders in our economic development process. They want to speak with you, they want to talk to you, they want to tell you what they want to bring to the city, and I think it's important for you and the planning commissioners to be there, because eventually their projects come to the planning commission and they come to the city council. So they want to hear it from you. They want to hear what the vision is for the city. And I really want to make sure that your job as economic development council members is very seriously taken by the developers, the brokers, and the tenants. So I appreciate your time away from your family to be able to bring quality tenants to our city here in Norwalk. And then again, we had a great Memorial Day. I really value the importance that the City Council provides to the Memorial Day, because those who gave it their all for us, our freedom. Like many said, freedom is not free. It costs many their lives, and so I just want to make sure that we pay tribute to them in a very a wonderful way that we did yesterday. Also, on Friday, we have a meet and greet for commissioners at 6 o'clock. So if commissioners, if you're out there, welcome on Friday, and we'll have a meet and greet for you. Next, we have a video for Pelota de Trapo recap.
I'm so happy to share that in the city of Norwalk, we were able to host a Pelota de Trapo Scholas event. Scholas is about heart, head, and hands. Heart, because without heart, you cannot accomplish anything good. Head, because we come together to identify a common issue that we want to help solve. And hands, because it embraces a collective action around a social issue that is important to all of us. Thank you, LA84 Foundation, for coming to the city of Norwalk to remind us to work together, play together, and be together in the city of Norwalk. We are a connected community. Thank you, and congratulations, Pelota de Trapo, on your success with our youth.
And all I can say is I hope more cities can experience this event. It is truly a collaborative event that brings the youth together. So I hope more cities are able to host this type of event. Next, we have the bi-weekly video of all those events that have occurred here in the city. Those who were not able to attend, please come out. Summer's coming. We have great events that our Parks and Recreation Department puts on. So this is just a preview of, or a taste of what you can experience. So here we go.
On May 18th, the city hosted a tea party at the Hargett House. Residents spent the afternoon enjoying tea, crumpets, and tours of the Hargett House. The Recreation and Park Services Department recently held their annual Teen Alliance Program graduation dinner on May 10th at the Norwalk Sports Complex. The event is organized every year to recognize and honor graduating high school seniors who have volunteered their time for the Recreation Department. The City of Norwalk and the California Contract Cities Association celebrated the 64th Annual Municipal Seminar from May 16th to 19th in Indian Wells. The event featured the installation of Norwalk Councilmember Jennifer Perez as the new president of CCCA. Representing over 80 cities, CCCA unites city voices. On the 19th, Seroptimist International Norwalk Santa Fe Springs hosted a Live Your Dream Awards event. The organization has given a total of $8,500 in educational awards and a $3,000 grant to the Custody to Community Transitional Reentry Program. The Norwalk community gathered at the Freedom Memorial at Norwalk City Hall on May 27th. Local veterans, families, and community members gathered to express their gratitude and remember those who have given their lives for our freedom. Thank you to all those who have served.
Mayor, that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on now to our director's report, and today we have from our Public Services Department, Director Glenn Cow. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. Let's see if this works. So for me to provide the update to you tonight, I've been given the privilege. You're going to see, I got about 27 slides. I'm not going to speak on every part of it, so I will spare you that. So with that, the introduction, how the community benefits from our services. Let's see if this thing is working. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Just click, please. How the community benefits. Our goal is to ensure our community's well-being, enhance our living environment through the services and improvements delivered. Next, please. Just For record and information, this is what our org chart comprised of. In advance, we have a total of 65 full-time, 8 part-time, 14 vacancies, and for a total of 87 staff. I believe we have the largest staff of all the departments in the city. Next slide, please. Basically, there are 4 divisions in public services. We have administration, operations management, utilities, and engineering. With that, administration provide the oversight, the management planning, and the budget, scheduling, and implementation of a variety of activities, from operations and maintenance through supporting city-sponsored events, city-hosted events, to its capital improvements, to make the improvements and/or the address things that are becoming high maintenance type related activities. We assist staff by providing a safe physical environment for the public through maintenance of everything that the mayor had said in the proclamation. Next, please. And I'll jump to that. What we do in administrative is we are responsible for the education, safety, training, and the management of our department staff to keep them safe in what we're requesting them to do, and to provide and maintain the city to the goals and standards through its strategic plan as identified to all the residents of the city to enjoy. Next, please. This is a picture showing the work of what we were doing, some of the projects before. Next, please. This is the after, what it looks like now. For streets maintenance, graffiti removal, one of our busiest sections, if you will. Of that, some of the statistics are there are 187 approximately miles of roadway, 400 miles of sidewalk throughout the city. Of that, we repair various methods through 220,000 square feet of drainage, a little over 11,000 square feet of culverts, 5,700 feet of cul-de-sac, 306,825 square feet of city-owned lots. That includes all the facilities, public parks facilities, city facilities, etc. We also maintain the bus stops and the public trash receptacles and the shelters through contracts to help assist with that. Next, please. Graffiti abatement. We strive to make that timely. Our response on that is usually within 24 at the minimum to 48 hours. Sometimes it gets longer. We don't hear about it right away, but as soon as we do, we respond to it within that 24 to 48 hour response time. We know it's critical to address that so it doesn't keep growing, if you will. Next, please. Talking about graffiti, this is before, next, and the after. Trees, street, median, landscape. They have the responsibility of approximately 18,000 tree inventory to maintain. We do trimming on that on a regular basis. We turn it over. The goal is to turn it over, I think, within 2 fiscal years. It takes a lot of contracting to do that too. But we have our crews that help it in between, such as when you have emergent events, storms, and things like that. Branches fall down, they come down, they snap, they're hanging. We will address that and respond to that. We do this through daily inspections, tree pruning, and trimming. We do replenishment of forest to maintain balanced ecology and climate. We conduct a pest management program to ensure the trees' health and welfare. Next, please. And we do this through West Coast arborists for the grid trimming, as we call it, and we have our staff to catch everything in between. Parks and parks landscape. Those are our parks facilities and all landscaping associated with that. They're all very good crews, I want to say it like that work with us. They're what's make the parks look beautiful. They handle the trees. They're maintained separate from the trees on the right of way. They take care of all the landscape, the grass, the greenscape, the planting. A good portion of the planning is as directed by our own Juan Martinez, our supervisor. They assist also in the city events set up for the various activities. Next, please. Parks facilities maintenance. This has to do with the buildings and venues that our parks people utilize for their various events and their various classes. Of that is about 12,000 square feet of park facility space that is maintained. These include the Sproul and the Hargett Museums, Sproul Reception Center, the Sports Complex, the Cultural Arts Center, the Skate Park, and the Aquatic Pavilion. They also provide assistance with city event support and setup. Next, please. Some other before pictures of work in motion and the aftermath, the improvements. Facilities maintenance. This is all the city-owned facilities that essentially are not primarily park used, but it's like city hall, if you will, and the various structures and things like that. The support there comes from a very talented group of people, just as our parks facilities group is very talented in the work they do, and you see the benefits of that. Basically, we do it to make sure it keeps in compliance with air quality in regards to filters and HEPA and things like that on the HVACs, because we are buildings and we all have what we call concrete or hardscape. We have runoff from that, so we provide a compliance by timely inspections to maintain compliance with both CEQA type improvements and or the NEPA compliance. We also look through stormwater quality. We have our own permit for our facilities that we need to keep addressed and up to date. Basically, all that, they ensure the facilities comply with safety and accessibility standards, ADA. Next, please. Recycling trash services, that was touched upon earlier also by the council. Programs are managed from within public services. Responsible for providing information and resources on both trash recycling services to all of its businesses, residents. Part of its responsibilities include the integrated waste management, and that's compliance with the state mandates for trash and recycling. Next, please. As was heard earlier, I'll just touch on that here as I did as a reminder, because we know it's here to stay. SB 1383, the Organics Waste and Recycling Mandate, that started in January 2022. Businesses and residents are to reduce organics going to the landfill, separate food scrapyard and food soiled paper from trash and recycling. That reduces the trash going to landfill, and we can make better use of organics. Turn it, recycle that. Next, please. Parks. So we have Gertie's Park, completed projects. This is in regards to capital projects internal to the department for operation maintenance. You've seen a lot of those projects come forward to you for approvals of the various manners and fashions. So at Gertie's, what's completed there is a snack bar remodel, replacing the ball field scoreboard, new pour and play surface at the playground, new pergola attached to the main rec building. At Glacier, we have the new pergola at the barbecue area and new pour and play surface for playground. Next slide. Hollyfield Park, we have the completed projects there of the slurry seal and the parking lot, replacement of the main snack bar roof. At Lakeside, new pour and play for the playground, and the ball fields were leveled via laser. Next, please. To continue with parks briefly, at New River, new playground installed, new concrete pad with new pergola. At Ramona, new pour and play surface for the playground, laser leveling of that ball field. Next. Vista Verde, new playground installed, new pergola at the main building, LED lighting installed at the handball court, snack bar remodel at Zimmerman, walkway lights upgraded to LED, and Shoemaker Avenue was slurry sealed. Next, please. Utilities. Our water services. Basically, we provide and ensure the delivery of water to all our customers and our ratepayers within the Norwalk Municipal Service, the water service area. So we approximately serve about 1/5 of the city's 100,000 residents here at a total of about a little over 5,360 meters. And those areas are comprised of portions within the city's boundaries itself, the city of Artesia, and a small portion we refer to as unincorporated LA County. Next, please. We have 4 wells we use to provide for groundwater. Right now we have well 10 offline due to benzene, and some other, for people who aren't fans of chemistry, we're going to have PFOS, PFAS, and those type of issues we're all being challenged with right now. We still, through that, we maintain this through 35 miles of our own pipeline and our domestic mains and high pressure fire supply. We have approximately 450 hydrants in the system. We have about 25, it was a little over 2,500 valves in there that help provide operational shut off and turn ons. We do this all to keep compliance with the state and county health departments, Department of Drinking Water, and the county's version of that. Next slide, please. We also provide a 24-hour response when we need to respond. We don't believe in letting water sit there and go on and things like that. We can't do that. As I mentioned, we have challenges with PFOS, PFAS, benzene, perchloroethylene, and trichloroethylene. And that's not to impress you what I know what those acronyms are. We just deal with them so much. We know them very well at this point. Key to this, the council was very gracious to approve a water master plan study, which we're getting started to kick off that meeting to get that study going. Next slide, please. Also, with these utilities, we have sewer. If you have water, you're going to generate wastewater that handles through the sewer system. That's comprised of about 160 miles of sewer main, about just under 2,500 manholes, 3 lift stations, 91 surface drains, 3 rack clarifiers at the transfer station and the public service facility. Jim, for you, I put transportation first, just so you know that. We also provide 24-hour response through both our staff and through contracted services. We also have the sewer system master plan initiating itself. Next, please. Last but not least, stormwater. This is what it does is it provides flood control during the events to protect properties and streets, make them passable. Part of our responsibility in utilities is to oversee compliance with the municipal separate sanitary sewer, or the MS4, also known as the NPDS permit. What that is regards to stormwater runoff coming off properties and hardscape. There are many things that have changed in that permit over the time I've been doing this for Public Works. It's been quite a while, and it's more egregious upon us now. The latest in regards to stormwater is the ability for people to capture stormwater so we can infiltrate it to do groundwater replenishment where capable. In regards to that, we also have the stormwater master plan, which will be the first time for the city here to be done. This one will probably take more effort. There, if you recall, it costs more to do because there's a lot of research to try to build the system, to model the system so we can actually know what's going on. Next, please. Some of the before pictures. That's flooding out there on Firestone. That's probably a damaged sidewalk due to probably an older main that ruptured. Next, please. And these are the results. That's the repair. And the system, the street dried up after we determined that there was just some blockage in the drain underneath Firestone, and it cleared it right out and went right to its discharge area. Next, please. Within utilities, it's unique here in the city. I've been doing this long. This is the first time where utilities, water, sewer has traffic and traffic signals. So traffic maintenance section is the group of guys that they go out and maintain all the pavement markings in the city. Most of them. They don't handle all of them because on the arterial we need to contract in because that requires specialized traffic control because of the large volumes of traffic out there. But they do everything else on this regards to centerline marking on the pavement, stop bars, crosswalks. They refresh the curb markings for the red, the green, and the blue type curbing, and the whites. They also maintain approximately 28,000 signs in the city, 300 barricade guardrails, and other traffic devices, which we refer to as, you call them bots dots. That's a trade name for them, but they're actually called reflective pavement markers, RPMs. And those are the ones where it tells you if you're straddling a lane or on the lane line or not, and also the wheel stops around in our various parking venues. Let's see, I said that. Next, please. Also maintain all the parking lot striping at the social services and our various facilities. I'll say it like that. Next, please. Some of the befores of pavement marking restoration needed, and next, after. Next, please. Last but not least, I believe, for the utilities, is traffic signal street lights. They're near and dear to my heart because we take care of those nice traffic control cabinets you saw that the city clerk loves to put all that nice artwork on there. Engineers, and we're too linear that we can't make things look nice like that. But we can maintain and make them operate. 82 signalized intersections within the city of 10 square miles. You have a fire preemption signal. That's Norwalk and Dory. That's basically if the fire truck's responding, they're going to call and it's going to shut the lot. It'll lock the intersection down in red, and they get the right of way to come out to respond. We have 3 flashing beacons. There's a pit pad activated crosswalks along Firestone west of the 5, Alonzo west of Auxiliary, and Bluefield south of Markdale, and 276 safety lighting fixtures citywide. We're in the process of completing all of the LED. It's pretty much complete now, and we are in the mode of replacing and restanding up lights where they were damaged by various traffic accidents, things like that. Next, please. We also have an in-house repair program. Our staff showed their talents off. Last week we were at Zimmerman Park, provided the workshops for the schools. The schools can bring the students, and they had a blast. Our own Pat Dugan there, he's not here tonight, but he actually took the stuff that was all damaged and we scrapped it, put it all together, rebuilt it, and so they can demonstrate how it worked. Next, please. Their additional responsibilities is they do assist as needed on a request basis for parks, ground lighting, and maintenance. Also with electrical installation and retrofits, all illuminated street signs. In fact, we are now converting from illuminated overhead street signs. For example, you may notice here at Manuel Silis and Imperial that it changed to where it's not electrically powered anymore, but we went to what's called the high current retro reflectivity. So as a car's driving, the headlights hit as if somebody turned the switch on. They are very bright. They don't cost us any power. And this section also provides 24-hour response to signal outages and or knockdowns. Next, please. Some of the work that was done before it was actually addressed. Next, please. And the aftermath. Nice new stop signs. That's part of the sign upgrades and the retro. We're putting to the net new retro reflectivity standard. We are seeing where we have yellow to highlight. We yellow the short center median there. We actually put yellow paint. We're putting additional what we call glass beads, so higher reflectivity, so more visible acuity for the drivers. Next, please. Capital improvements and utilities. Just to show a few there, we had 441, 442. 441 is SCADA. That's basically the telemetry, the control system. We are about at 99% complete on those plans. We will be going out summer. 442, that's a large water main project. You awarded about a little over a year and a half ago. It is now complete. We're just in finalizing all the paperwork. It'll be coming to council for project closeout and acceptance. Next, please. We have in design 449, which is a carry over, I'm going to call it that term, of projects that the project needed to be done. We're doing this in advance to get ahead of some paving. And 7451, that is in regards to the granular activated carbon, the GAC treatment plant that will go in at well 10 to address the benzene and PFAS. Next, please. Regarding sewer, 7519 runs parallel with 7441. It's SCADA for the sewer side. 7520, we had brought that to you and we completed that project. That was upgrades for the sewer lift stations. There were 2 of them in that. 522 is the next project we're starting up already for sewer manhole rehabilitation, and 523 is sewer main pipe rehabilitation. Next, please. And stormwater, last but not least, for one of the ones that, even though we don't have a stormwater master plan, but we were made aware that this pipe was, it's suffered from age, it's corroded, it was actually somewhat not caving in yet on itself, but it runs through an easement on a private property. We already talked with the owner, got permissive rights to come out to take a look through our easement. We're addressing that now while we're sunny before we get into the rain season. Next, please. Engineering, last but not least. They are under administration, working with administration. They help prepare and develop management of the CIPs relative to street infrastructure, which includes roadway in the right-of-way, traffic signal related projects, ADA compliance. Next, please. They're also responsible for compliance with the NPDES permit, also known as the MS4, and the LA County Congestion Management Program. We refer to as the TSSP, the Traffic Signal Synchronization Program. Next, please. They also provide the services in regards to encroachment permits for the residents who wish to want to improve the parkway in front of their home. We have standards for that. And any kind of work that's done in the public right of way, we require encroachment permits, so they will review that. We also, they also, with utilities combined, they do the development plan review when development projects come in town, make sure everything is served properly to the site for utilities going in and coming off the site. Next, please. Zone 3 just completed. Work-wise, we will be bringing it shortly to council. That went into 3 phases: concrete first, and then we paved. Concrete handled the curb gutters and all the sidewalk and the ADA ramp to be the ramps up to compliance. Next, please. Zone 8 recently is also the same. The construction net completed. That will be coming very shortly to council for acceptance and closeout. Next, please. And Zone 19, all doing the same thing. And I put the standards up there, and I won't read all that for you. So, next, please. One more. And with that, thank you for your time and allowing me to present just some of the things we're doing in public services for the council and for its residents. Thank you.
Oh, good. I was just going to ask. Wonderful. Let's see the video. Wonderful, wonderful. Any questions or comments, colleagues?
There was one term that I didn't quite understand, and I asked the mayor. It was on the first slide, 11,000 something or other. Coverts or coverts? What are they?
Culverts.
Culverts, yes, thank you.
A culvert basically is a pipe that flows underground to connect from a catch basin to go into like a drainage channel, or it's passing under a structure. That's all it is. So, you're welcome.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think even if you've seen it for as many years as we have, I think it's hard to imagine how expansive it is, the responsibilities that department has, until you see it like on a video like this. And I just would hope that we get that out to the community and
It'll be
yeah, and even Norwalk Now or whatever, just so that people understand, you know, what all's going on there, because it's huge. I mean, it really is.
it's a lot.
Exactly. And that's why the director's reports are so important, because I think it provides an opportunity to share, learn something new. We're all always learning, and to share all the work that happens in public services with our city. I mean, you cover every inch of this city, really, you know, so thank you so much. And there is, I noted in your org chart that you had 14 vacancies, so I'm hoping that there's something going on there so that we can get you the staff or personnel that you need to continue the great work, okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, we're moving on now to our consent calendar. We have items 1 through 8.
Move it.
Second.
Mayor, can I get a report on item 4? This is really good stuff.
Okay, we have item number 4, advance reservation dial-a-ride subscription service. Report, please.
Yes, Mayor, members of City Council, Mr. Jim Parker will present.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Gomez, Mayor Rios, and members of the City Council. The item tonight is the contract amendment for the advanced reservation dial-a-ride subscription service. We had an agreement initially, 3-year, with 2 one-year options with our contractor for our dial-a-ride services. And they're performed by a company called TransDev, formerly First Transit, Inc., for Norwalk Transit. And as you saw, that the 2-year options that we have, and we're getting ready, looking at another 1-year option, and that has some issues that we want to enhance, not issues, but positive things that we want to make a little better. But this item tonight is that you had previously approved us expanding our dial-a-ride hours because we had a surge after COVID of our seniors coming back to ride. We have the farmers market. We have all of these things that Gabby throws at us each month to make sure that our seniors are providing the mobility that they're seeking. So you approve those hours for the seniors and disabled for this fiscal year. And the cost of that is included in the current year budget of $360,000, which enhances the contract cost to $1,139,000 and change. There is no impact to the general fund for this, and so basically we're coming to you tonight for the approval of that contract, not the dollars or any of the service costs. It's out there based on your mid-year agreement.
That's awesome, Jim. Thanks for being responsive to that, because I don't have to tell you that when it comes to, especially like you said, post-COVID, when it comes to seniors, that's one of the issues. Transportation is one of the issues that's recurring besides nutrition. It's transportation. Of course, you don't have transportation half the time. You can't get to nutrition. So, no, I really appreciate that. So, thank you.
Understand it. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay, so we have items 1 through 8. I believe we heard a first and a second. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmembers Perez,
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ayala,
Aye.
Mayor Rios.
Aye. Item number 9 is appointments, advisory body appointments. Is there anyone, any council appointing any vacancies for advisory bodies this evening? No? Okay, we'll move on to item number 10, ordinance and resolutions, fiscal year 2024-25 proposed budget. And here we go. Go Yana, go Yana.
Mayor, members of City Council, tonight before you we have the fiscal year for next year budget presentation. Before we start, I'd like to thank all of the directors and all of the staff support that have helped us put this budget together. We begin literally in March to begin to put it together, go through it, and be able to present to you a balanced budget that has what we believe will accomplish the goals and objectives that the City Council has placed before us. And so with that, we will have Ms. Jana Stewart present the budget for you. And we, the directors and myself, are prepared to answer any questions during or after the presentation. So with that, Ms. Jana Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Mayor Rios, members of the City Council, I am very pleased to propose to you tonight and present to you the proposed budget for upcoming fiscal year 24-25. I would like to, in addition to my colleagues from other departments, also thank our staff in finance. I hope that you noticed that the book that you received for your review is a 600 pages document. Is beautified and improved. We have included in this document accomplishments for prior fiscal year, our goals for the upcoming fiscal year, and also we are referring to the icons of our strategic plan. So we are trying to connect strategic plan with all the work that we are going to accomplish in the upcoming fiscal year. So we are following the plan, we are following a direction, and I personally would like to thank my staff that is here with me today. And the improvement of the document is really thanks to Jennifer Hernandez, our senior management analyst. So before I start, so with that, we will try to kind of shorten up the presentation of 600 pages to some 40 slides to show you what's in the proposed budget. So as I referred already to our strategic plan, in front of you are our four main strategic goals that you given staff to follow from 2023 up to 2025. Priority number one, providing high customer service. So you will see this icon over almost every department. Partnership with the community to achieve safe and livable neighborhoods. And goal number three, create and sustain a resilient and economically prosperous city. That's what we are trying to do with balancing the budget and leveraging every grant funding or any other subsidies that there are out there. And also support sustainability and climate resilience throughout the community. So to accomplish this, we do have a team of about 303 positions, but this is how we operate. So we are responding to our citizens and our businesses, and City Council is pretty much telling us what they hear in the community and what the priorities of the community are. And we are working with city attorney and city manager manages the entire the team. So on the left side, you see total of 5 departments that are providing actually internal and external customer service, but primarily support all departments that are on the right side, that are our departments that provide services. And today we highlighted one of them, which is public services, but we will go through the budget and see how these activities, what they mean in dollars and numbers, right? So overall, the budget that we are presenting to you today is about $301 million, out of which $82 million is general fund. And operating budget of the entire city is about $160 million. And overall, there's a 5% or $15.5 million decrease from prior fiscal year. But it is primarily to the level, and later on we will see that it's primarily to the level of in which we are transferring into reserves, our capital reserves, and you know how much capital improvement projects we are trying to complete, and majority of those projects are carry over projects, and that's the reason. So to do all this work, it takes about, in this proposed plan, about 303 full-time positions, and this slide pretty much highlights where the funding comes from. General fund is the blue portion of it, and then the special funds are in orange and green. The proposed budget actually increases number of full-time positions, and the net increase is about 10 positions. We are deleting one position in social services that was in this fiscal year actually promoted to a position of management analyst rather than management assistant, and it is a primarily grant funded position. And overall, other departments are adding 11 full-time positions, out of which 3 departments are funded from general fund. And the rest of the departments, such as water, sewer, transit, those are actually proprietary or enterprise funds. Um, Also, on the part-time hours side, there is a request to increase part-time hours by 15,000 hours. Majority of it is under public safety, recreation, followed by general government, and we'll go into more detail when we will be discussing the departments. And so, what type of assumptions did we use in order to prepare the estimates for our personnel costs? As you will see that we provide services, and that's a huge portion of our operating cost. And so the services in this fiscal year are provided by 303 full-time positions, about 370,000 part-time hours. And the assumptions include the last year of our MOUs with general unit and also management unit. That includes 3% for general unit COLA increases, and for name for the management group 4%. If there are any vacant positions, primarily we do budget at step C, and any employees who are eligible for step increases, we take that in consideration as well. The very important cost that is related to our full-time positions is our pension cost and medical cost. And despite the fact that PERS actually realized minus 6% or loss in investment 2 years ago, we were anticipating an increase in this rate. However, the rate we received from PERS was lower by at the level of 36.57%. And that can be primarily contributed to our additional payments. So we went to pay down our unfunded liabilities. So they calculated the rate, and it came a little bit lower than we reported to you last fiscal year, or we anticipated. At the medical benefit for our full-timers for general unit, that cost is capped right now at $1,600 per month for active employees and our retirees. We also thank Council for pretty much being fiscally responsible and saving money and paying down the unfunded liabilities that are related to our medical costs for our that we are earning as active employees and for our retirees. So once we retire, or anybody that retires has the benefit ready for them. And the contribution is the full annual required contribution level, which is citywide about $2.6 million. And general fund contributes about 1.5 million, transit about 900,000, and other funds about $300,000. Unfortunately, this fiscal year, in an effort to propose to balance the budget and present to you a balanced budget, we were not able to include the additional contribution to pay down our unfunded liabilities for PERS. So in the prior fiscal year, we did contribute, current fiscal year and years before, we contributed about $1 million every year. Unfortunately, this fiscal year, we cannot do it at this point. Hopefully at mid-year, the situation will be a little bit different. So with all that, this slide pretty much recaps the same information I already highlighted, only the changes into personnel. The very upper part of the slide tells us what funding sources are paying for these changes. So impact to general fund, as I mentioned, is 5 new positions. It's about $1 million. Additional 13,000 part-time hours, about 400,000. So impact to general fund is about $1.4 million. The other, out of this $1.4 million is, of course, the ARPA funding. You may recall that this fiscal year we funded our HOPE program that addresses homelessness and it's run by Public Safety Division. we were able to fund the entire program over $1 million from ARPA. However, the upcoming fiscal year, we have ARPA funding only up to December 2025. So half of the year is funded from ARPA, and the other remainder of the year will be funded from general fund. So that's actually the reason. And the bottom part of the slide actually shows us like what function is increasing the position level. Majority of it is under public services and transit with 3 positions. Public safety, 2 positions, general government, 1, and recreation, 2 positions. Additional major components of the financial plan that's presented to you are JPIA premiums, or our insurance that we pay for our workers' compensation, liability, and other insurances such as property insurance, crime, pollution. And that's actually $300,000 increase from prior fiscal year. And it's also allocated to various funding sources and departments in same manner that JPIA allocates the charges us. 20% is based on salaries, so more staff we have, so that portion of the JPIA charge is allocated to us, and 80% is based on experience. So, which is a new formula they implemented several years ago, but it also motivates us to be better in managing workers' comp cases and all various liability cases that we are settling. Of course, we already know this major component of our general fund budget and overall is sheriff's contract. Overall, the entire contract, regardless of funding sources, is about $18.7 million. When we prepared our plan, we were anticipating an increase of 3.09% in the rate for the Sheriff's Department. We received a few weeks ago official letters telling us that that actual increase is 3.44%. However, we are leaving our estimate at the level as it is because even this fiscal year we are saving money, even unwillingly in a way, because we have few units that are not filled and few positions in the sheriff's team that are not filled. So we are confident with that. With the budget of 18.7 million, we will be within budget, even if we have a little discrepancy in estimate for the contract increase. As you might know, liability trust fund also increased by 0.5% from 12 to 12.5%. We continue funding 50% school resource deputy. That's a shared cost with Norwalk La Mirada Unified School District, and that is funded from our COPS grant. And of course, any overtime that our sheriffs has also is funded from COPS grant. And we have some, I believe it's, cannot think of word now, patrolling of the transportation center, which is 50-50 split between transit and it's charged to Prop C. So I already talked about homeless program and the funding and how it's divided between ARPA funds, federal funding, and general fund. And also, I would like to highlight that the general fund is still subsidizing our parking structure up to $500,000, $494,000 this fiscal year. And then senior programs, that is a great program that our social services is running, but there's a required match, and it's about $384,000, $325,000 for nutrition, and about $60,000 for our senior grant. Also, we try to keep general fund as a operating fund, so all primarily capital projects are not funded from general fund. We are using our reserves that we are replenishing regularly, and minor capital outlays are also primarily funded from our reserves. So that was overall assumptions. Now we will go and talk about primarily general fund. So what can we expect on the revenue side? This is just a snapshot of our expected revenues, about 75.7 million. And you can see on the slide below or chart below that that's remaining pretty flat as comparing to prior fiscal year. Actually, it's a decrease. And I highlighted that this fiscal year there will be no ARPA loss of revenues that we got for last four fiscal years. That was about $2.9 million for last 3 years. And so that really helped us to fund our operating costs. And assumptions that we use to prepare the budget and estimates, as you can see, we are thinking we will decrease our revenues by 1%, about 1,014,000. As I mentioned, no ARPA money, America Rescue Plan Act, which was about $2.9 million last year. Property taxes, thankfully, steady, growing about 3%. However, sales tax, even this fiscal year, we are adjusting our estimates, and the upcoming fiscal year also, it's about $200,000 level, lower or 1% decline. Utility user tax also decreased, and the rest of them remaining pretty flat. Franchise fees, TOT. General revenues, this fiscal year we have like rental revenues of $175,000. You may recall it's a digital billboard off of 605 that we received three years ago, a payment for 3 fiscal years for about $450,000. Starting with fiscal year 25, we'll be receiving rental payments annually, and this is pretty much the amount we can count on. Also, RDA still owes money, or former RDA still owes money to city general fund, and so now we are started repaying interest, and I think we have about 2 more years or 1 year of repayment, and once that's done, that $2 million will go away. The other thing that I would like to highlight is that this revenue estimate does not include any possible fee increases that may result from the fee study that we are currently undergoing and will be presenting to City Council hopefully in August, September. So once we make any changes, those may be any fees for services. If they're changed, we may be adjusting those at mid-year. But right now we are conservative. We are not counting on any fee increases. Everything I said is recapped right here in this slide to the nitty-gritty of each department and each major revenue category. And we are presenting to you adopted budget or current budget 24, where we think we are going to end fiscal year 24 estimated actuals. The highlighted blue, those are our estimates for 25, and then you can see the variances in percentage and in the amount. So as I mentioned, a decrease of $1.1 million. Now we're going to the spending side, and we'll be talking about the operating budget. You can see barely balanced 75.7 million. So revenues decreased by 1%, but operating cost is increasing by 3% or $2.5 million. And as you can see, majority of it is about 48% is personnel, and 24% is contracts with the sheriff's department, and then other expenses. Because the personnel cost is such a major part of our budget, I would like to highlight where the money goes. Primarily full-time salaries and related benefits, such as medical, pension, and then post-retirement benefits. Retirement benefit is about 4% of our personnel cost, and then workers' comp, others, that's the mix of 4%, 2%. Part-time salaries and benefits, their benefits are not so high. It's about 17% combined amount. So this, in the same way we presented revenues, and this slide kind of details all the operating expenditures by type. We start with our current fiscal year budget, where we think we are going to end fiscal year 24 estimated actuals, budget for 25, and then variances in the amounts, and then in percentages. And so the upper part talks about all the benefits for full-time salaries and related benefits. You can see increased by 2%. And the reason why it's not only 2% because, as I highlighted before, we are not contributing anything to pension, and that will be reflected also on the HR budget. Part-time salaries increased by 10% or close to $570,000. And then other contractual increases are increasing by about $1.3 million. So the other item that I would like to highlight, we always, every fiscal year, we try to use the special revenue funding, primarily highway user tax, to help general fund to offset any expenditures that are related to street maintenance, traffic maintenance, meetings. And so this fiscal year, we actually, in order to balance the budget, had to increase that contribution. So it's a Fund 204, it's highway user tax. And that fund is used for our operating costs, and also engineering uses it as a possibly local match to any funding that they get from federal or state funds. So I already talked about the increase of 2.5 million or 3%. The same information highlighted here by priority, pretty much. So public safety priority number 1, 32%. That's when the money goes. Glenn pretty much explained all the activities and what it takes. 19% of general fund is dedicated to public services, and then general government. That's all the 5 supporting departments that are there, followed by recreation and community development, social services, and then about 9% is transferred to replenish our capital reserves so we can do beautification of parks and improvement on streets and other capital investment. You may also notice on this slide that in prior fiscal year we were able to contribute to capital reserves and community grant fund about $17.4 million. Well, this fiscal year 25, we can afford only $7.1 million to replenish our capital reserves. This slide is the more granular, where we were in the previous slide we were talking about functions. Here you can see every function, pretty much the very first portion of it is what's in it in general government, all the departments of admin, management services, and so forth. I would like to, we will go into more detail department by department and major changes and what's included in there. But this gives you at the glimpse all the variations. So as I mentioned, human resources, $900,000 decrease because of the no additional funding that will be, or payment that will be made to pension unfunded liabilities to PERS. In addition, in general fund, and this is a recap of all the capital outlays requests that will be funded from general fund. So we can summarize it by, we can see a lot of ergonomic furniture, a lot of chairs, and continuing to use the smart TV and webcam under public services and different tools. So the detail is here and also in the budget book. So that brings us to pretty much where we started to report where do we think we are going to end fiscal year 2023, which is a very important information because that's a starting point for the upcoming fiscal year. So at mid-year, you may recall, we reported to you in February that we will be ending fiscal year at $15 million. But that is under the assumption that everything that's budgeted on the revenue side, on the expenditure side, will be spent as budgeted. But we know reality is not the same. So here we are highlighting the major changes that will show that we do estimate that we will finish fiscal year 24 at about $22.6 million. And the reason there are three major components. One was adjustment for audit that was conducted after we finished our annual financial report for Measure W. And as a result of that audit, general fund actually gained $215,000 into good in the fund balance. So that will be auditor's adjustment to beginning fund balance when they will conduct the fiscal year 2024 audit. As I mentioned, revenues, unfortunately, I mean, like flat on target, but it shows minus $38,000, and that can be primarily contributed to our sales tax underperforming. Expenditures, actual saving of $7.8 million, and you can see that $6 million of it, about 17% under budget, is under personnel costs. As you may know, and Mayor actually pointed it out, how many positions are vacant. We have many mid-management positions vacant, mainly community development and now public services and so forth. And so people come and go with attrition. That is actual savings. Sheriff's contract, I also mentioned that we were not successful in filling all the positions we have contracted with the Sheriff's Department, and that generates savings of $1.2 million. And other contracts that may be carried over to the next fiscal year is of close to $1 million. So when we say that we are presenting to you a balanced budget, we were not, it's really balanced to $2,087, meaning that our revenues are above our operating expenditures and capital outlays by that amount. So it's very tight margin that the budget is operating budget is presented. On other non-operating resources, it's $156,000. That is repayment of our water loan that general fund gave to water fund when we purchased the water rights years ago from City of Vernon. And I already mentioned the minimum replenishment of capital reserves to vehicle equipment replacement, building renovation, and of course street renovation. We presented budget estimates the ending fund balance at the end of fiscal year to be about $15.7 million, which is about almost close to 1% over fund balance policy. And our fund balance policy is 20% of operating costs, including minor capital outlays budget. So right now we are about $540,000 above that fund balance policy. So technically that can be used for future emergencies or any changes that council may have. That brings me to the rest of the city, and we'll be talking about departmental budget overall for different departments, so or functions rather than departments. So general government, you can see all the departments listed. There are all of us at City Hall that support other departments like finance, city clerk, HR. Administration, of course, city attorney, and so multimedia and communication. The request in part-time in personnel changes are highlighted in this slide. City clerk adding 2 positions for assistant of office assistant 2, and also there is a reallocation of creative coordinator that used to be historically part or charged to communication and public affairs. Now this position is fully supporting activities of public safety. It's dedicated to public safety budget. So currently or prior fiscal years, it was 50-50 split between communications and recreation. So you will see this shift from recreation to public safety. And also there's a request to add part-time hours, public affairs, about 2,080 hours for public information assistant, and finance would like to add 1,000 hours for account clerk 2. The next slide pretty much highlights other operating costs that is included under general government. So we can see, like you may be questioning why management services has such a drop in cost of 36% and administration increase of 16%. It's strictly administrative shift in a way where all the employees that are working in administration office will be now charged on the administration budget unit or department. So before there was one management analyst charged to management services. So it's just geography where they are charged, but the cost is there's no addition or deletion of anything. The list of items that are included in the budget in this function is listed on the slide. You can see major increase under MIS, and that's different software and backup services. And also, you might have noticed we implemented Office 365. So then there's a license payment for every user every year. City clerk also has elections this upcoming fiscal year of about cost estimated right now $221,000. We continue investing into education and training for our employees, customer service, professional growth, life-work balance, team building, leadership, management skill, and so forth. So it's we thank you investment about $93,000, and I already talked about personal contribution. Finance, we see a huge increase in SIACA. Actually, don't have final numbers. Estimated increase we used for our contract is about 7%. We would hope that finally we can do a full canvas. And also, we would like to get online with the new software that SIACA is using, the same software company, DocuPet, even though we're administering our own dog licenses, dog licensing. And I know it looks like a huge number, but next slide will pretty much highlight where we are with that cost. So as you can see on the slide, SIACA charges every member city by capita, and so our population is about over 101,000 citizens or population, and so the cost for that is estimated at $7.62. Prior fiscal year, actual cost increased drastically, 41%. So it is a cost that keeps on rising. We also pay Downey their admin fee, and as I mentioned, since COVID, pretty much SIACA did not, even though we planned for it and we asked for a full canvas, they were not able to provide that service to us. This fiscal year, we're still hoping to have that done. We have between 9,000 to 10,000 dog licenses, and we do not know how many are unlicensed out there. So we would still like to do that. We continue our cat neutering program. That's not, we do it on our own with cooperation with local veterinary clinics. So you can see it's pretty substantial. We are moving on to public safety. So we already talked in pretty detail. You can see general fund about $26 million it has in budget, but majority of it is really sheriff's contract. And then other funds, we are trying to leverage any possible grants or special revenue funds that are out there to leverage our cost. So overall budget is close to $28 million. Staff is asking for one full-time position of office assistant too, and they would delete the office assistant one part-time hours. And of course, I already mentioned the reallocation of time for a creative coordinator. Additional part-time hours for PSOs, for EOC, those are also requested. The EOC hours, there's an attempt to leverage those grant funding, so staff is going after various state and federal funding to help us with all the efforts to modernize our EOC. So here, public safety, general fund only, prior year budget, proposed budget, and then variance, 5% increase, and then here we have it by operations, sheriff's contract, emergency preparedness, and because homeless outreach, I already talked about it, that's a shift for half a year funding. And I already mentioned all the Prop C funding and the school resource deputy. Next slide will highlight the detail of our contract with Sheriff's Department and what we have. We have about 35.8 units, and school resource deputy does include cost does include 3% liability insurance as well, and we pay 50%. We're moving on to public services. Glenn went in huge detail into elaborating what they do. It takes how much manpower it takes. It takes 76 full-time employees of positions. They are asking to increase their budget of for full-time positions by three employees. These would be funded from water, sewer, and stormwater funds. and it's a combination. Water service work is primarily funded from water fund, but associate engineer and management analyst would be charged to those three funds, and also adding and adjusting a few part-time hours. All the listing of all the departments or their divisions and what they do. So it's a budget of $16 million. There is, I already talked about increased contribution from gas tax. It's pretty much status quo, no enhancement of services or anything extraordinary that is included in their proposed budget. They also manage our water service, which is we do serve only a portion of our city and currently still Artesia. And so its overall operating budget is about $6.7 million. And the water fund has a debt service fund also, about $540,000. So overall shortage between revenues and expenditures is about $560,000. However, I would like to highlight that the operating cost includes water master plan and water rate study for about $400,000. So that's not something that will be happening every fiscal year. The estimated balance at the end of fiscal year for their working capital is about $65,000. They also will be conducting rate studies, so there will be potentially changes in revenues. Next, the enterprise fund that is administered by Public Services is our sewer department. We are doing pretty well there. We are collecting fees based on the number of connections, water connections, I believe. And the surplus is about $168,000 this annual surplus. The same way they're undergoing the sewer master plan, $350,000, and sanitary sewer management plan. It's a carryover from prior year, and estimated working capital is about $8 million. We are moving on to parking structure. I already talked about this need to use the general fund subsidy in order to run and maintain the facility. So that is still going on. Social services, the same way, there's no major changes. I already talked about eliminating full-time position that was promoted. And then there's some adjustment to part-time hours. Overall, 24 people, 7 under child care, 17 in various other programs. General fund is about $4.2 million budget. And the only enhancement is that we used to receive the Lady Grant that we are currently spending last funding from it, and the staff is proposing to continue the program and enhance it and include men as well, from ages of 15 to 25 years old or young, and for the amount of $40,000. And we continue with our emergency foods and shelter program and all the other dental program and social service assistance that we instituted last fiscal year or current fiscal year. Recreation, the recreation department primarily funded from our general fund. They're asking for 2 new rec coordinators actually. And I already talked about reallocation of creative coordinator to public safety. They're actually asking for additional part-time hours. It's pretty under rec leader 360 hours, and then about 2,000 hours under rec leader 2, and so forth. So pretty As to the programming, there is no change in programming. As you can see, we'll go in a little bit more detail. Youth summer youth worker program. We are anticipating about 75 participants. It's an investment of about $220,000 for our youth, giving them some skills of work and workspace environment, and working in groups and learning some new skills, going through interviews and filling out the application. So that's pretty good. And also, there's a contract for facility rental events that is actually recovered on the revenue side. Next slide will show us all the special programs. So those are programs that we have been accustomed to. And just one, it's pretty much the same programs. The only thing that I want to highlight that we still plan on 2 excursions for our summer beach bus program. And now we go to special events that we offer to our residents and are enjoyed by all. We do, staff pretty much eliminated the minor Santa Sleigh breakfast. I think it may be part of another winter program. It's such a minor cost, so might be combined with something else. And also family picnic nights. That was kind of new program we implemented in 2024. We are remaining with our summer concerts, Front Street Friday nights, and Park Movie Nights events. So 6, 3, and 3. So it'll be a fun summer. We are moving on to community development. That's also status quo. Nothing extra was asked. No major changes into org chart, that you can see also in the final proposed budget book. It's about 30 full-time employees, and then we have 2,400 part-time hours on admin, and then the additional 4,800, those are 4 interns that would be helping out in building safety and planning, also learning valuable skills and hopefully becoming our future employees. Administration, building, and safety planning, and then this is the cost of about $5 million to general fund for our community development. We instituted this BEAR program, which is Business Attraction, Retention, and Expansion Program. I think we want to intensify. It was not used in prior fiscal year very much. However, the upcoming fiscal year, more movement will be happening in those economic development nodes, and staff is anticipating to provide some assistance to local businesses that would be in those areas. And also we continue to set up the city housing element and planning database, about $50,000. Transit. We are getting into our King Enterprise Fund Transit Department, $35 million budget in different areas. Majority of it is in actually operations. That's where all the bus operations are. It's a business of $11 million. Staff is asking to increase their staffing levels by 3 positions, and they're listed on the slide. That would increase their number of positions to 79. Budget for transit is balanced to the penny, and operating budget is about $19.5 million, and it includes items that are highlighted on the right side of the slide. Micro transit project, about $600,000. Also operational analysis study. And we are preparing for our 50th anniversary. And so the event planning is about $30,000. And also very ambitious capital plan. We are buying 3 new zero emissions buses. So here should be a sign of sustainability. And in the book, in the budget book, you can see that. Dial-a-ride van, additional van, one van, completing the improvements of our bus stops and beautification of those, and also improvement in our facility, about $4 million investment. So we are getting to the end, close to the end. You guys are doing good. We are proposing to carry over about 76 carryover capital improvement projects. You can see it's a mixed bag. Majority of them are on the streets, and followed by facilities improvements and so forth, traffic and park improvements. And we are adding only three new projects. And you can see investment in dollars, about $134 million. So pretty substantial. I would like to highlight for information where we are with our reserve funds. Those are the city funds that City Council replenishes on annual basis to allow us then later on make some major capital improvement projects. So we are estimating starting the budget at the fiscal year at $44 million. However, replenishing only $7.1 million and spending about $29 million. So ending fiscal year with $22 million in capital reserves. And all the highlights of the projects are on the slide. Also, I would like to report on ARPA. As you may recall, in 21 fiscal year, we established ARPA projects. We received about $28 million. By December 2024, we need to obligate all the funding. So that means we have to have viable contracts in place. And then we have to get on it and start spending and have it spent by December 2026. If we are not successful in doing so, we will have to return the funding. So we're really working hard. We will be coming back to the council asking for allocating the $3.8 million that you see on the very right side of the screen. That is for our affordable housing. And also we will commit to have on board our ARPA professionals that are helping us with these projects until December 2026. And that brings us to the end of the presentation for the upcoming fiscal year 2025 plan. And this is pretty much where we started. Actually, we started back in January already with the mid-year budget, we in finance. But it's been a long journey. We are very happy we are here to present to you a fiscally responsible budget. We are here to answer any questions you may have, myself and my colleagues. And hopefully after this presentation, you'll be comfortable directing staff for official public hearing and budget approval. And that concludes my report. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Yana. We're going to take a 5-minute stretch break, and we'll be back at 8:28. the blood flowing. That's what I said. I go, did you see me eating my cookie? Okay. Yana. Where did she go? Where? ¿Dónde está? What? Is she trying to confuse me?
You better clean your glasses. There ain't nobody out there.
Okay, the podium's right here. You go straight and then to the right. Anthony's right there with the two kids. Gianna's right there too.
Okay.
While
All
we
right.
get
Yes.
staff back, just a comment. We would be
Yes.
ready to present the adopted budget next Tuesday.
Oh, wonderful.
If there are no changes or minor changes, if there are major changes, we'll ask to be come back on June 18th.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
just
I
to kind of
believe-
give you a sense of
I'm
timing.
sure there's a few questions, and we'll go ahead as soon as Yana takes a seat. We'll go ahead and she's ready. Thank you, Yana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So, council colleagues, are there any questions regarding the budget? We'll start with Councilmember Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Yana team, everybody, for all that you have done to get us to this point. I do have a couple comments, a couple questions, and possible changes as we go into it. Looking at the presentation and the overview is one thing. I do spend time to go page by page through the budget book because that really depicts the whole picture and provides a little bit more detail. So the first thing that I would like to say is in January, we anticipated the state budget to have about a $30 billion deficit, and now they're anticipating a $56 billion deficit for multiple years, and we know that is going to change. We also know from past experiences, for those of you that have been in city government for multiple years, that sooner rather than later, that deficit is going to trickle down to us in some way, shape, or form. With that being said, we need to continue, and Yanni, you said this a couple times through the presentation, that we need to be very conservative. We need to be diligent with what we are providing to our residents. We're not stopping services. We're not cutting anything, but I believe we need to be very, very conservative on what we are asking for to make sure it's covering all standards of operations and services to our residents and businesses. But we need to be very diligent on additional spend, because we know from, like I said, from past experiences, this deficit is going to some way, shape, or form affect local government. With that, I'd also like to ask that we be proactive. And proactive, I mean, we contract for services in almost every department of the city. With that being said, we need to be very, very focused on when those contracts expire. We need to be proactive on the fact that we are reactive and look at those expiration dates and not scrambling at the last minute to either get a renewal or to look at additional ways to service that particular contract. So I'm going to ask the team, Jesus, I'm not sure who would handle that, if it's the individual departments, but I really would like us to look at all contracts for services, look at those due dates, look at when they expire, so that way we can make sure that we're proactive in getting those renewed and or additional services. When it comes to ARPA, we need to make sure, not only are they 100% need to be obligated by December. If they are not obligated, we will lose that funding. So we have 6 months, probably less, to get those contracted and obligated, because the federal government will be very, very happy to take that money back. And Yana does not like to give money back. So please be focused on getting those obligated and contracts way before December 2024. So those are some of one more comment. I really think we need to look at our TOT revenues. We have been talking about our TOT revenues for quite some time. This is our transit occupancy tax that we get from those that stay in our hotels that are in our city. This is not a tax on our residents. These are the taxes that we gain from those that are coming into our city and staying at our hotels. I'd really like to look at that, see what the options are to increase it. What are our surrounding cities doing? What is the increase in Cerritos? What is the TOT in Downey? If I am correct, we are far below what the TOT is in our surrounding cities. And that's an opportunity for additional funding. So we need to look at that sooner rather than later because it will need to go to the ballot. And we need to allow ourselves time to process with that increase. I'd also like to ask, in the budget book on page 93, starts our carryover capital projects for our street improvements. There is a lot of them, which is a great thing. They are all coming from special funds, but I would like to see a timeline on when these are going to be started and when they're going to be completed. Because I want to make sure, especially knowing that the state is in a deficit and that deficit is not going away anytime soon, that these projects are allocated, started, and completed before the state comes to say, we're taking your money away, because it will happen. The next question I had, see, I even have my little Post-it notes so I don't lose my train of thought. I've gotten a lot of questions recently in regards to traffic engineering, requests for speed bumps, the process of the speed bumps, which department does it go to, who's handling it, stop signs. We know that just attending ICSC, we have several developments that are going to be coming into the city and we're going to start breaking ground very soon. I believe that's going to put more pressure on our traffic engineer. And I know what is currently there, it's overwhelming. So I really would like, before we come back to the next meeting in regards to the budget, I'd really like to look at seeing what it would cost to increase the contract for our traffic engineer and or look at other options for that position. I'm not sure what the overall cost would be. I don't know what the backlog is to get us caught up. But there is a lot that's going to be done in the world of traffic, streets, etc., in our city. And I think we need more than a part-time traffic engineer. So I would like to see some numbers and have that potentially, if my colleagues would agree, brought back to us for potential increase. My next question, and this is a fun question, I promise. There is a huge increase to adult sports. Sonia, can you tell us what that increase is all about? Like, it's a massive increase. Are we adding new programs? Is it a whole new sports league? We're increasing it by 134%. What's involved in that?
Currently, we don't have any adult sports leagues. So we want to add that. Most cities do have adult sports leagues, so we want to go ahead and add that to our programming.
That makes sense. I appreciate that. And I think it'll be well received. And it's one of those budgeted items that would also bring revenue and balance out at the same time. So thank you for the explanation on that. I just want to make sure that we're very clear on ARPA. And I think that's it. I really watch our contracts, watch those expiration dates. I'd really like to look at the increased volume or the traffic engineer and if that can be increased. Oh, and the last thing, we have invested a lot of time, energy, and funding to our technology infrastructure here in the city of Norwalk, here at City Hall. Technology is not a one and done scenario. Yana, we've talked about this. We need to make sure that this is something that we are constantly looking at. You cannot update technology and then expect to it flow for 3 to 5 years and have no changes. The technology that we implemented 2 weeks ago has already been outdated in some instances. So please make sure that we're diligent on ensuring that our technology levels and investment continue to be stable. I think that's all I have. I think. Thank you.
Is if I may, Mayor, address the ARPA, Councilwoman Perez asked. I have been meeting with one of our developers who has affordable housing, workforce housing projects. I meet with him again on the 30th, May 30th. What we will be planning for is coming to council more than likely July, August to allocate those funds as part of their capital stack for their actual affordable housing project. So we are planning on coming in July, August to allocate those funds. They obviously will need them. They score higher on their application for tax credits. If they have control of the property, if they have funding from the local agency, so that'll score them higher on the scale. So that is one item that'll be coming before you.
Valencia, did you have any questions? Councilmember Valencia?
You know, I had the exact same questions as Jennifer. No, I'm kidding. There were several questions that I had that were already answered, or were already stated. But I did want to ask about the. We do have many positions, and that we're trying to fill and what have you. But we've already accounted for that, right? Like we are going to fill when we fill them, the benefits and all these other things for the proposed budget. The numbers are there for all that.
Yes, Councilmember Valencia. So 303 full-time positions, regardless if they're filled or not filled.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the request for the funding, and then of course in cooperation with human resources and departments that are hiring, we would be filling those positions as requested by departments.
So the proposed is to have the full complement, is what my question is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Ayala? That's not me.
Yeah, I think probably the most important page of the whole thing was the very first page. Right? Can you put it up?
Yes.
Not the last. First. Unless the last shall be first.
Liz, can you Yeah, okay, thank you.
Oh, so I got the trick question in.
I think it's technically page number 2, no? I don't know if that's what it's referring to.
Could be.
Is it? Technically page number 2 are goals.
Okay, this seems like it's going to be a project, but yeah, okay. I think, without getting into the math and the specifics, I think as an overview, I think the most important thing for us is these 4 things that are something we've been talking about for quite a long time. And now our budget priorities are lining up with what our goals are, which in government that always takes a few years before it can sync up. But you can look at this and then look at the budget and say, okay, these are the financial mechanisms to make these things happen. And I think, not that I wasn't thoroughly impressed by your mathematics, Yana, but this is, to me, what is really important is that you can dial the thing in to what we're saying. Because we're saying one thing, financing some else, that's not going to make sense. So those things have to fit constantly. The only other thing that I would say is I want to, what I would like to do is I would like to reinstate the International Friendship Commission. Originally, originally it was eliminated purely for funding reasons, not for viability reasons. And where the opportunity is right now, because some of the things we were working on back then was the student to student programs and also business to business programs. And it was complicated back then because we didn't have the technology to do it the way you can do it now. Mm-hmm. I mean, back then we'd have been happy just with Zoom, but I mean, there's some really interesting programs that you can do connecting students from a certain grade with students from a certain grade in your sister city and back and forth. And there is a viable business component to this as well. So I don't know what I need to do here. I imagine we're going to reinstate the commission. It's going to take some special action, and then how that would actually link up with what the budget is for next year, I don't know. What would be the process to do all that?
What we can do is add a certain amount of budget. It's there now. It's dormant. It has it has a budget amount, but I think from what I'm sort of hearing is that we would add some dollars. We would have to look to see which sister city.
Well, I think what I would like to do is I'd like to propose like $5,000, and that may not all be needed, and that's not for travel primarily. It's so that we can connect up with the U.S. Mexico Sister Cities Association, find out what the fees are now to join, and that kind of thing. So you're going to need somebody from the staff explore, because I'm sure that's changed quite a lot since you and I were doing it. I know you try to act like you never did, but I handed it off to somebody.
I did it honorably.
But I just wanted,
sure,
yeah. But you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
I think there's a new day with technology and everything else that I think we could do some really interesting things. We can involve, like in the past, where the Chamber of Commerce is a mechanism, and the chambers of commerce there, and just get that dialogue going initially, and then come back before council and see what kind of programming might make sense. Think we can do that? Thank you. That's it.
Okay, thank you. I really like the way the information was presented, and I totally agree that I see how the staff use the goals as their, kind of like the driving force behind how everything was laid out, how the expenditures were explained, how, so I really, really appreciate that. I would have liked to have seen more of the support sustainability and climate resilience throughout the community, more of that, but I know that's a newer goal, so I hope that we can continue to build upon that, that specific goal in our activities. And I have my notes here. I did make a note on the revenues, so the lower estimated actuals primarily under sales tax. That's kind of unfortunate. I don't know if you wanted to add anything
Yes.
briefly to that.
Yes. Actually, the persisting inflation, cost of living, increased interest rates, it's harder to invest into cars and to finance goods for the households and even remodeling the homes and so forth. So the spending is more limited to living expenses such as rent or mortgage and food and gas, and so that additional spending is not as much there, and we can see it unfortunately in our categories under cars and transportation, and that's one of the major categories, and general goods. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's not unique to the city of Norwalk. It's a trend statewide and countywide. When we receive the reports from HDL, that's pretty much confirmed that we're actually doing a little better than others. We don't have too many. We have affordable dining where our families or our residents or visitors still can afford to go eat out. And so we are not on the last page of the report. And so, however, it's a trend statewide and region-wide.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that, but I just, it's expensive to live anywhere, really, in California now. But I just wanted to mention that because I think that's why it's even more important that we do shop local, that your hard-earned dollars are reinvested back into the community. Whether it's getting a haircut, your nails done, having lunch, shopping for that new, suit or dress you want to wear. I mean, we offer it here in Norwalk. We do. It's available. And so I think that's why it's so important that we reinvest in Norwalk. It's still affordable, and I know that we have the median income in this community to do so, and we have the options and the choices. So I just, I'm hoping that picks up, that we see an increase in that in those actuals. And then the other, so I see the increase to our the animal control cost. I know that that's probably a lot of that supports their personnel and just operations, but I hope that we can maybe leverage some of that to bring back to our community. Like I know we've done a pet adoption, in the past. We've, spay or neuter. We've just different services. I mean, is there something that they can come and offer the community to us, or offer to the community related to pet services and programs, or I'm hoping that maybe we can look into that a little bit more. I think that'd be, I know the community would definitely appreciate that. And then the other one on page 30, when we talk, that's under public services. And again, this kind of goes back to my original comment on wanting to see more activity when it comes to our goal number 4 in sustainability and resilience plan. And I see, we have full-time positions 0 for recycling activities. I see a Cal Recycle grant available for $1,000. It look like for part-time hours maybe. But I mean, I don't know. Is this something that's completely not available or an option to us at this time? Is there anything that we can look at as far as an activity or to augment or provide those services or activities related to resiliency and education on carbon footprint, etc. Is there any reason why we have 0 under recycling activities? And it doesn't have to be recycling. I mean, it could be maybe think out of the box, something
Right,
else.
if I may answer that question.
Yes.
So some of it has been taken on by our AFIDS, our trash hauling company. If you notice, we do a lot of the mulch,
Yes.
a lot of the even the through our Cal Recycle grants, we do the electronic recycling,
The e-waste.
the e-waste. So we do a lot of it,
Okay.
a lot of that programming already. We also do the AB 1383,
Mhm.
and that's really funded through the through Athens.
Mhm.
But we do the education; they're doing the inspections. So there's a lot of components that are included in the overall operations. The next item on the agenda is the sustainability for the solar panels and all that.
Yes.
That's a large amount of dollars. So there's pieces throughout different operations that we do that specifically sustainability. So it's not um, one division specifically for say sustainability, but maybe that's something that we should think about to put it in one division, all of the pieces that we do throughout the city, including what our vendors and contractors do.
You know, I thank you for adding that. I think that's a really good point, especially as we try to highlight how focused we are on the different goals. I mean, you just mentioned a lot. Maybe capturing that.
Right, even the electric buses, we're ordering
Yes.
more. So there's a lot of
Yes.
pieces that are under that um, title.
Okay. Good. Good. Very good. Okay. And there was one more. Where is it? Oh, here we go. On 46, where we talked about capital reserve funds, and we're talking about the different equipment that's needed, whether that be chairs, a microwave, sound, a table set. I know that that's necessary. You know, it's certain furniture or equipment has its life use, but I'm just wondering if in order to kind of offset some of those costs that we look for a partner, maybe a partner organization or company can donate a microwave or maybe a TV or these are items mentioned here. And again, as was already stated, I think we need to be mindful on our budget. What are the wants versus the needs? And is there any way that we can offset some of those costs by partnering with a generous organization or company that would be willing to donate a TV? I think if it's explained, right, I think that there might be interest. Would you be willing to donate a TV for employees for, A, B, and C? I just think that there might be some interest if you lay it out in a way that explains it's for the employees, the hardworking employees of the city of Norwalk. So that's just again, just trying to be mindful on how we use our budget dollars. And that was all I had. Thank you very much. So this is just we're just, where am I at?
It's a study session.
It's a study session, okay. Is there any more questions? Is there any questions from staff on anything that was discussed by the council? I just want to make sure that we're clear on the next presentation on the budget. Staff knows how to proceed.
What I heard is adding $5,000 seed money for International Friendship Commission. That would change the funding. That's what I'm hearing.
And also to look at changing the traffic engineer. Do we need to do that as adding to the contract, or look at bringing it in as an in-house employee?
Okay, so that should be included in adopted budget.
I think there needs to be a discussion further to see what the need is.
Okay.
Because I think it definitely needs to, what currently is being housed and the service levels that we're getting from our traffic engineer are not hitting the needs of what we have here in the city. So that needs to be increased.
Okay.
Sorry, Yana.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Yana, and thank you to your team for putting all that information together. I'm sure it was a lot of work, and it's very much appreciated. You are very, very good with your money and your dollars and your math.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Let your team know that you presented tonight, and good job. Thank you. Okay, the next item is item number 11, reports, solar energy project lease financing, resolution number 24-21.
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, Ms. Yana Stewart will present.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Tonight, staff is very pleased to present to you request for authorization to implement the lease financing for our solar energy project, and that's really cannot be more sustainable than that. So we are right there, and it's a huge investment that we are asking for approval for. So as a way of a background, part of our strategic plan, goal number 4 is support sustainability and climate resilience throughout the community. And City Council demonstrated their commitment to this goal in November 2023 when City Council approved resolution to approve designed, build, contract our agreement with SciCircle or Energy Solutions, called SciCircle, for a project that has a value of about $18.2 million. And this project contains a portion of it that is investing into solar sustainable energy in 6 city site locations. Then we started really working on the goal right away. Project has pretty much we can say two phases. The very first phase is already worked on and is in a process and some level of completion right now. And that cost is about $6.2 million, and it includes all the energy saving measures, and they're all under sustainability mark that are highlighted here. So just to mention a few is actually replacement of newer type of HVACs for more energy savings, type of refurbishments, new HVAC units for anything that's older than 18 years, that's also already in the process. Retrofitting ball field lighting at Holyfield Park and installing ball field lighting at Zimmerman Lakeside and Ramona Parks. Those would be the lighting that are actually energy efficient. So the other portion of the project is actually solar project, and that's the funding that we will be discussing today. And you may recall that in February we requested via resolution 24-8 to engage a financing team that will assist the staff and SciCircle in providing financing for the portion of the project. We have our partners that are present here in the audience from Municipal Advisors, Harrell and Company Advisors is Mrs. Susan Harrell. And our Bond and Disclosure Council, that firm is Norton Rose Fulbright, is Mr. Stepan Haitayan, is also present here. And we worked with another colleague from this company, Stephen Watson, who helped us evaluating all the tax rebates that the city qualifies under this under this project. Our underwriter, that would be in case we would be issuing public debt or issuing bonds, or placement agents, serving as a placement agent if we are seeking funding or financing on the private market, is Raymond James. And our colleague is Jose Vera, and he unfortunately is not present, cannot be present tonight. So team started working right away in February after the approval, and we worked different strategies and had several meetings and conversations about how to strategize about maximizing eligibility and amounts of federal fund energy tax credits that would be available to city. And so these type of credits are income tax credit, energy community credit, and low income community credits or rebates. Also, we had to evaluate city available funding sources. Those are our reserve funds that we have reported on not too long ago, and determine financing. Therefore, as a result, then determine how much we need to finance or borrow. Strategically, we decided to go into the private sector and solicit banks to offer us financing terms to help us finance this project. Result of the strategizing was really, I mentioned we have 6 sites that have been determined by the city and CirCo that would be eligible or convenient or strategically placed to have solar panels, and 3 locations on the slide. They're actually do qualify for all three tax credits that I just mentioned. One of them is low income community credit. And so facilities, sports center, aquatic pavilion, and well 10, we identified as a low income community facilities project. And for this project, we can maximize up to 50% total in rebates. So as you can see, building renovation fund, we are using our reserves, investment of $3.8 million. And then water fund would invest one, that's also our funding, $1 million, because a little bit over $1 million investment. The solar panels that are placed at the location of well 10 would then help once well 10 is operational with the energy consumption once we are ready to pump water. So there is no financing needed for this portion. However, site number or project number 2 is we identified it as a low income community facility project, and the total of this project is $7 million. So unfortunately, this area can take advantage only of 2 possible credits, and it's about 34% of the total cost of the $6.9 million or $7 million. So we're anticipating that we would borrow about $5 million to cover our construction cost, and Prop C, we would apply funding from Prop C to anything that's related to transportation center and Mr. Parker's facility, meaning the Bay and then administration. So it's 2/3 of the facility of public services and transportation center. So expecting credits of $2.4 million, and funding from loan proceeds would be around $5 million. As I mentioned, the discussion and the strategy is important because, and the reason why we decided to go with private placement, because time is of essence. And typically, the public placement requires longer preparation. It's about, Mr. Gomez can say, about 4 to up to 6 months. And in order for us to maximize tax credits, we need to start actually construction before the end of December 2024. So our placement agent, Jose Vera, and his team helped us with preparing RFP and soliciting the proposals from 7 banks that happened in April 22nd. And at the beginning of May, we received 5 proposals. Those proposals varied from 5.7% to 4.44 for 15 years term. And the best proposal came from Western Bank. And therefore, we are seeking City Council's authorization to enter into leasing agreement where the leased asset would be the panels, solar panels, with Webster Bank. Stepan from the legal firm, from our legal counsel, that helped us with drafting and negotiating the lease agreement. We are asking that the debt amount would be about $5,458,000. As I mentioned, $5 million would be for construction of the project. 117,000 is about the amount of cost of issuance that was already approved by the council into agreements when we approved the financing team. And also put aside $341,000 for capitalized interest because the city would not start payment until the project is complete and we can start actually realizing the energy savings. So the first payment will be in fiscal year 2026 in the amount of $121,000. And the actual full annual payment will kick in fiscal year 27, and it will be about $500,000 or $532,000 for 14 years. So we would be done with payment of this particular lease agreement in 2040. And that really concludes my report. We are seeking your approval or to adopt two resolutions. One resolution 24-21 that would approve execution and delivery of lease agreement, purchase that part of that lease agreement is exhibit on this purchase letter, escrow agreement, which is between the city, Western Bank, and U.S. Bank. That would be our escrow agent. Lease placement agreement and authorizing certain other actions in connection therewithin. If there are any questions about these documents, I would ask Stepan to come and explain and help us with. And the other resolution that we are seeking your authorization is really to reflect all these transactions in our current fiscal year 2024 budget, cost of issuance, and also once we receive the funding, transfer to the construction fund. And that's really resolution 2422. That concludes my report, and we are here together with our team, financing team, to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Thank you. Colleagues, do you have any questions?
No questions. I'll move it.
Well, may I? I have a question. I have 3 words. I love it. You know, when I proposed goal number 4 for our sustainability plan, I wasn't necessarily thinking about, dollars and cents. I was thinking about, I want to save our environment. I want Norwalk to do its part to, have a sustainable community that is aware of their carbon footprint, that is healthy, and that's what we offer in the city of Norwalk for our residents. But the timing could not have been better, because although we proposed, I proposed and we supported it here, you all came up with the tax credits. It couldn't have been, right, Yana? Am I missing something here? The energy savings, the tax credits.
I would love to take credit for the tax credits, but I cannot. No pun intended. I think your vision was heard, and I think behind the scenes, this project started many years before we even actually started the financing. I think Mr. Gomez can attest to it, that working with SciCircle, analyzing all the electric bills, working with the company, them working and walking the facilities, identifying the
Right.
possibilities and options for any possible energy improvements. That started long ago,
Yeah.
but it was just perfect timing,
Right.
aligned.
Right.
Right.
That's teamwork. That's, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think the timing was perfect. Again, obviously we all consider dollars and cents. I mean, I didn't necessarily mean, oh, we don't think about it when we propose a strategic plan or initiative. Of course we do, but the way that this worked out based on, the thought process that, you all had and you thought about it. And it's like, okay, how do we support this vision? What do we do to maximize, our funding, availability? I mean, that was teamwork. So thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
That's aligning the finances with the goals, though.
Huh?
That's aligning. That's what I was saying before. It's aligning the finances
Yeah.
with the goals. Because if
Yeah.
we can put a cogent message out there
Yeah.
about what we want and where we're trying to get to, these guys can do the rest
Right.
easily.
And that's what
So as
happened.
long as we're clear and we're united about what we're trying to do and where
Yeah.
we're trying to go, makes their job a lot easier.
Yes.
And that's what's
Perfect
happened.
example.
That's what happened. But we got great staff, but we got great counsel too.
That's right. So thank you. Thank you very much for that. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second. Who what? Oh, you already. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll second. Okay. Do we need a roll call on this one for this
Yes.
report? Okay, roll call, please.
Council members Perez,
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ayala,
All right.
Mayor Rios.
Aye. Are there any oral communications this evening? Okay, seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you and have a safe week.
Okay, I'll do it first thing. I usually translate well.